Front Mission 3 is back, but is this remake the glorious return of a tactical RPG legend, or is it just a stripped-down shell of the original? I'm Brian with Valkyrian Gaming, and today I'm going to break down whether this long-awaited remake does justice to one of the most iconic strategy RPGs of the PlayStation 1 era, or is it another missed opportunity from Forever Entertainment? For strategy RPG fans, Front Mission 3 is legendary. It helped define the genre for PlayStation users, delivering a gritty political war story, deep mech customization, and challenging tactical gameplay. It was the perfect blend of world building and mechanical depth, especially if you were into anime like Gundam, Patlabor, or Ghost in the Shell. Forever Entertainment already remade Front Mission 1 and 2 with mixed results. But it was 3 that's the big one, the fan favorite, the one with weight, and now it's finally here, so let's break down where it lands. The story follows Kazuki Takemura, a test pilot with Kirishima Industries who gets caught in a massive conspiracy after a routine delivery goes wrong. What starts out as a simple transport job turns into a spiraling international crisis, involving military coups, shadow organizations, and forbidden technology. What Front Mission 3 nails is that feeling of being a small piece in a much larger geopolitical machine. You're not just fighting battles, you're uncovering layers of corruption, betrayal, and hidden agendas. And the branching narrative really helps a lot. You get 2 full campaigns, one following Emma and the other following Elisa. They intersect at times, but ultimately it gives you 2 perspectives of the same event, each with their own characters, missions, and outcomes. Kazuki isn't the most nuanced protagonist. He's hot-headed, impulsive, and honestly kinda dumb. Like Shin Asuka from Gundam Seed Destiny levels of dumb. But the supporting cast and overarching narrative really help carry the story. The in-game network system also deserves a lot of credit. It's like a retro internet simulation packed with optional lore, corporate dossiers, and secret files. It adds context that the main story just kinda glosses over, and it's one of the most immersive features of the game. Gameplay-wise, Front Mission 3 is still excellent. It's a grid-based, turn-based strategy RPG where positioning, equipment, and mech parts all really matter. Each Wanzer, as they're called, has its own armor values, movement range, weapon types, parts, and so on that can be individually destroyed. You're not just attacking health bars, but you're disabling enemy arms so it can't fire, breaking legs so they can't really move far, or going straight for the body to finish the job. There's a layer of tactical decision-making that keeps each battle dynamic when you're trying to choose who to prioritize and aim for. The skills unlock passively through parts and weapons. Some let you chain attacks, auto-defend, or aim for specific body parts. It can feel a little grindy, and unlocking them is random depending on what conditions that you're meeting in terms of your parts combinations, but when they trigger, it does feel awesome. One of my favorite parts is the pilot ejection system. You can boot enemies out of their Wanzers and steal them mid-battle, or you can lose your own and run around on foot. It adds a bit of chaotic fun to the fights, but it's really interesting, and some of them even have special machines that you can use in certain battles. There's also a wide variety of weapons in this game. Fists, rifles, shotguns, missiles, and so on. Each pilot gets better with repeated use as well, so you'll want to have a really balanced team that can handle all kinds of situations for close-range brawls or long-range sniping situations. That said, Front Mission 3 isn't exactly newbie-friendly. It doesn't really explain itself all that well. There are armor types and attack ranges, elevation matters. All of these aren't really highlighted, but they do matter, and there's some difficulty spikes that you really won't be prepared for if you're not having too big of a grasp on the mechanics. This remake was a chance to modernize the game's clunky menus and confusing interfaces. Sadly, a lot of that potential was left on the table. Customizing Vonzer still involves too many sub-menus and clicks. When to compare parts or check stats, you'll have to back out and jump around constantly. Swapping machines or modifying them is technically possible before battle, but it's not that intuitive. It just feels like the old system got copy-pasted without really much cleanup. Even small things like fast-forwarding through dialogue are gone now. On the PlayStation 1, you could press start and skip through lines. In this remake, you're stuck mashing through them at normal speed. And with the network system, it's still clunky. It's more navigable now thanks to the shortcut menus, but it's just as slow and awkward as ever, but I do like the way it looks. Now, let's talk about the most disappointing parts of this remake, the presentation. Their original Front Mission 3 had some very specific aesthetics to it. Gritty textures, industrial backdrops, moody sound design. It really helped sell its military tone. It wasn't pretty, but it had character. This remake doesn't. Visuals are overly clean and bland. It looks like someone just pressure washed the entire game and forgot to put the dirt and detail back in. That gritty feeling is just gone. And the background images for story scenes, a lot of these have clearly been AI upscaled or just outright replaced. Some are passable, but others look weird. Like they have the wrong lighting, or some objects are missing or changed, or they just have totally different compositions. It feels sloppy. The audio design also just really lost its punch. Gunfire in the original was loud, sharp, and impactful. In the remake, it's soft and flat. It completely changes the tone of battles. And the remastered music, though, is fine. You can switch between it at any time, and the new and classic soundtracks sound similar, and honestly, can't really notice much difference between them. So here's the deal. Front Mission 3 is not a bad game, it's just not a great remake. It brings back one of the best tactical RPGs ever made, but it just doesn't do enough to modernize it. No real major quality of life changes, no meaningful upgrades to the visuals, and especially the audio, and the presentation just overall lacks a soul. It does in fact run way better than the original though, especially if you play the PC or PlayStation or Xbox ports, which I'm sure are coming down the line in the future. But with no major enhancements, it just feels like a part that could have and should have been more. Forever Entertainment has a history of post-launch patches based on community feedback, so hopefully we'll see improvements down the line. None of these will be presentation things because they never are, but some of the rougher edges with like glitches or maybe some of the HUD or UI stuff, maybe that can be smoothed out. But as of launch, it's okay. A solid gameplay is held back by just a lot of missed potential. But I will say, compared to all of the other Forever Entertainment releases, this is probably the most solid one out of the gate. At the end of the day, it's still Front Mission 3, and that's a great thing. If you've never played it before, this is a good way to experience one of the genre's greats, as long as you temper your expectations. If you're a longtime fan like me though, the lack of polish and personality really stings. you might be better off playing the PlayStation 1 version via emulation at this point. But either way, thank you for watching. It's been really fun to revisit and re-review this game. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit the like, sub, and ring the bell so you don't miss more deep dives and reviews like this one. Let me know down in the comments what's your favorite mech-based game of all time, and how do you feel about these low-budget remakes of classic titles that Forever Entertainment is making. Until next time, stay tactical, stay sharp, and take care.